July 2nd, 1941, 4 days into the German invasion of the Soviet Union. In a forest near Dunaburg, Latvia, one man sits alone, preparing soup for soldiers who may never return. His name is Ivan Pavlovich Sereda, age 22. He was a cook, and his only weapon, unbelievably, was a simple wood-cutting axe. And standing against him was his enemy, a fully armored German Panzer tank, a roaring steel beast designed to crush infantry, destroy fortifications, and flatten anything foolish enough to stand in its path. This is the true story of the most unlikely victory of World War II. The moment a single man with an axe stood against a machine built to conquer nations and won. 4 days of relentless hell had passed, with no rest, no mercy, and no pause in the violence. The 91st Tank Regiment had been fighting non-stop since Operation Barbarossa began. Losses were catastrophic. The clearing had become a place of exhaustion and quiet grief. Tanks rolled in slowly, guided into whatever space remained, their engines sounding more tired than the men who operated them. Around the camp tables, conversations drifted in low, strained voices. Some trying to hold on to normalcy, others too, weighed down to speak at all. Wounded soldiers stepped out of medical tents with unfocused eyes, while inside, the injured lay still under the harsh glow of lanterns. A few stood aside, sharing muted thoughts, not out of ease, but out of a need to feel less alone. In another corner, sparks flickered from welding torches as damaged armor was patched together, watched by those who had nothing left to offer but silent support. And in the middle of it all, Ivan Pavlovich Sereda, culinary college graduate, now assigned to feed an army that was disappearing. His job was simple: peel potatoes, make soup, keep the men alive. Suddenly, a liaison from the battalion commander stormed into the clearing, urgency on his face and panic rising in his voice before he even spoke. He shouted over the noise of the camp and ordered everyone to grab their weapons and move out. A new German push was breaking through the line, threatening to encircle the remaining forces. Every able-bodied man was needed, everyone except Ivan. As a cook, he was ordered to stay, keep preparing meals, and if the front collapsed, defend the camp to the death. He could only watch as the men rushed into battle. Within minutes, the camp was a ghost town. Only the crackle of fire, the bubbling soup, and distant gunfire remained. In the middle of the abandoned camp, Ivan remains behind, still preparing meals for the men lucky enough to return. After a while, a distant sound pulls his attention away. The familiar rumble of engines, the squeak of tank suspension. More damaged vehicles, perhaps. He steps out to look. Through a cloud of dust, shapes emerge, moving steadily toward the camp. For a moment, Ivan almost raises his hand in greeting. Then he hesitates. Something feels wrong. The silhouettes are unfamiliar, the proportions are off. His blood turns cold. These are not Soviet tanks. They are German Panzers. Ivan freezes, hoping his eyes are lying to him. They are not. He darts behind the kitchen tent, the soup instantly forgotten. Peering out, he watches the tanks draw closer, and then he sees it. His rifle, resting against a wooden crate, completely out of reach. He swears under his breath and scrambles for anything he can use. His hand closes around the wood-splitting axe. It won't stop a tank, but it's all he has. As the rumble grows louder, Ivan peeks out again. 2 German Panzers roll past the camp without slowing. Then the third one turns and heads straight toward the kitchen. He ducks back into cover, his mind racing. The tank grinds to a halt in front of him. The turret hatch swings open, and the German commander climbs out laughing as he speaks to his crew. Confident, unconcerned. He jumps down from the tank. Then he begins inspecting the surroundings with casual confidence, scanning the clearing as if expecting nothing more than an abandoned camp, completely unaware that someone is watching him from just a few steps away. Ivan waits. He tightens his grip on the axe. Then he moves. He charges out screaming, axe raised high. The German freezes for a split second, then bolts, running straight back toward the tank. Ivan chases him, snatching up his rifle as he passes. The commander scrambles inside and slams the hatch shut. Moments later, the machine gun opens fire, spraying blindly. Ivan dives away just as bullets chew through the space behind him, explosions shaking the ground as he slides across the dirt. At last, He reaches a blind spot, pressed tight against the steel, momentarily safe from the storm of fire. Then he sees it, a tarpaulin lying nearby. Thinking fast, Ivan grabs it and hurls it over the turret, plunging the tank into darkness. The tank crew keeps firing the machine gun, blind and panicked, tearing through the kitchen in every direction. Ivan moves fast. He throws cloth over the remaining viewports, sealing the tank in darkness. Now, completely blind, the machine continues firing wildly. Fueled by adrenaline, Ivan climbs onto the steel hull and brings the axe down again and again on the machine gun barrel. The crew inside feels every blow reverberate through the metal. They keep firing, convinced the bullets will stop whatever is attacking them. But the barrel overheats. The axe keeps falling. Metal bends. The machine gun falls silent. Ivan turns on the tank itself, hammering the hull until it rings like a bell. Then he changes tactics. He begins shouting orders, fake commands to imaginary comrades, calling for grenades, ordering the tank surrounded, answering himself in different voices. Inside the tank, chaos erupts. To the crew, it sounds like an ambush. Dozens of Soviet soldiers, shouting, closing in. Outnumbered and trapped, they make a decision. They surrender. Suddenly, the hatch opens. Ivan waits, rifle ready. The commander climbs out slowly, announcing surrender, only to freeze in disbelief. There is no platoon, no ambush. Just one man standing on the tank. A cook, a rifle aimed at his chest. Ivan orders the rest of the crew out and forces them to bind each other. One intact German Panzer. An entire Panzer crew taken prisoner. When the regiment returns that evening, expecting soup, they find their cook standing guard over prisoners in a battered but functional enemy tank. The story spreads instantly. Ivan's actions are recognized by Major General Dmitry Lelyushenko, who calls it an outstanding example of heroism. Ivan is reassigned to scout duties and joins the front line within days. The axe is kept as a memento. Ivan Pavlovich Sereda continues fighting through the war, at Leningrad, at Moscow, rising through the ranks to senior lieutenant. And on August 31st, 1941, the man who stopped a tank with an axe is awarded the highest honor of the Soviet Union, Hero of the USSR. Ivan survives the war, but not its wounds. He dies in 1950, at just 31 years old. War creates heroes from the unlikeliest people, and sometimes, all it takes is courage, timing, and the will to refuse defeat. If you found this story worth telling, please consider subscribing for more forgotten chapters of history.